Welcome to the AV Report. I'm your host, Justin O'Connor. So here in the AV industry, we've been going through a lot of change. There's been a lot of change over who gets to make the decisions for enterprises, which department is in charge of those decisions, which departments actually manage those decisions. This is what we had as the part of the IT AV convergence. The other part of that convergence has been just that the technologies have been overlapping as more and more AV gear has network ports and IP addresses and capabilities to exist on networks. Those networks are owned, operated, and maintained by IT teams. So that has led to convergence. So those things are happening. In addition, there's been a lot of change with, I'm going to call it the consumerization of our technology. That's not really accurate, but I think you know what I'm talking about. In our consumer electronic lives, everything has been moving rapidly towards increased communication technologies. The ability to do video calls on a handheld device with the press of a single button. This has created expectations for that type of instant access to people who are remote from us, where we can see them and hear them clearly in an instant. But that's coming from consumer technology. So that is greatly influencing the expectations of the users, but it's also influencing the technology that is available. Some other things that have been changing in our industry is kind of the increase in ownership and awareness within the technology management teams at enterprises. An enterprise anymore can mean almost any institution that has walls and a payroll, or maybe it doesn't even have walls, but it's trying to do some sort of function, whether it's entrepreneurial or service or education or government. All of these are enterprises. So when I say enterprise, I really kind of mean all of it. But we have technology managers who have a much deeper understanding and desire for understanding of the technology that's going into AV and interactive experiences within their institutions. So all of this is the fluid change that is happening in our industry. Okay, so we all know this change is happening. What am I talking about? Why am I bringing this up? This isn't news. Nor is the opinion I want to express, but I'm just here to express an opinion in this video that I want to say publicly. There has been an increase in attention to the end user, the end client from the manufacturers. That in and of itself is not a bad thing. If you have a brand and you have product solutions that you want enterprises to know about, communicate with those enterprises and let them know what your solutions are and what they do. Then they have more information when they get in touch with an integrator and a design consultant, or one or both. But here's the thing. I don't believe that it's smart for manufacturers to go around integration and go around consulting and sell directly to the end user. The end user is certainly capable of making those decisions and installing those systems and maintaining them. But there are many enterprises where that is not the case, and they don't have the long-term resources and focus to be able to serve the AV system at a high level of service over time. I believe that is what integrators bring as value, and I think that the manufacturing community needs to continue to support integration. And I think I said this with the Avixa change, with the name change, but the new 10 bullet points. One of the things that I want to see Avixa doing is continuing to help integrators flourish. They will have to change. What they do for their customers will have to change and have to adapt, and their value add will have to change and will have to adapt. And many integrators know this and have strategies for that. And manufacturers ought to be facilitating and enabling those changes and those advancements in the industry. So I just wanted to express that opinion because I have this venue, I have this opportunity, and I really believe that the role of the integrators in the AV industry is extremely important, cannot be forgotten, and I wanted to share that with you. So thanks for listening to that. So in product news this week, we have the new Allen&Heath ME500 personal mixer. So this is a 16-channel mixer with an interface for any individual to get 16 channels off of a larger mixer and create their own personal mix for their use. So this is for live performers to create essentially monitor mixes, whether it's wired in-ear or wireless in-ear. They can create their own mix. It takes a lot of the burden off of the house engineer, or if there isn't a house engineer and like you have the example of a band that runs their own sound, each individual can do their mix instead of one person having to take care of everybody else's mix. So they're really convenient devices. They're not new to the world of mixing, but this is a cool 16-channel mixer that works with a variety of Allen&Heath mixers, including the D-Live, the GLD, and the Q. It works plug and play with those. It also works plug and play with an Aviom A-Net system. So that's really convenient. With the use of a hub, it'll also work with Digico consoles, Yamaha consoles, and even Avid consoles. So that's really cool. So check out the Allen&Heath ME500. Also in product news this week, tvONE is announcing that their 128 gigabit streaming media playback module for their Choreo Master platform is now shipping. So this module gives you up to 128 gigabits of local storage. It can network stream 2 by 1080p 60, and it can provide local playback of either 2 by 1080p 60 or 4K UHD. So as I mentioned, this module integrates within the Choreo Master platform from tvONE, and of course is compatible with the Choreographer control software that tvONE produces. So that new streaming module, 128 gigabit streaming module, is available and is shipping now from tvONE. So our final item in product news this week is from Creston, and they have 2 new small modular amplifiers, the Amp 225 and the Amp 150/70. So these are cool. These are quarter rack amp units. That means they're 1 rack unit tall, but they're only a quarter of a rack width. So you can actually gang 4 of these to fit into a single rack space. So that's really convenient on space for amplification. So the Amp 225 is 2 25-watt channels at 8 ohms, and the Amp 150/70 is a single channel, 150 watts, going into a 70-volt line system. So small modular amplifiers, low power per channel, perfect for small conference rooms and great on saving space. So in addition to rack mounting them, they're small enough that they can be tucked virtually anywhere. They're also talking about their new Vector loudspeakers, and they've got some new loudspeakers that integrate with these amps, and the Vector loudspeakers also work with their Avia DSP platform. And I mentioned that because the Avia DSP platform is interesting in that it allows changes on the fly, including like the ability to rewire blocks. Those of you who program DSP software know that that's usually not something you could do on the fly. So I think that's kind of a neat feature that they provide. So yeah, Creston, these new 2 amp modules, AMP 225, AMP 150/70, and also check out their Vector loudspeakers, which they've got some new things going there as well. Well, that's the report for this week. I hope you had a great Halloween. Thanksgiving is coming up soon. We're entering into that holiday season, one of my favorite times of the year. I hope it's one of your favorite times of the year. Lots of very exciting things happening right now. So I like that. I hope you do too. In the meantime, go check out some live local music. As we get into the holiday season, there are many more opportunities to see some performers in a variety of ways and variety of venues and places. So take some time for yourself and do that. Go see something live in your area and give it a listen. It's great for you. It's great for the performers. In the meantime, I want to thank you for joining me here on the AV Report, and I will see you next week.